Let's talk a little bit about premises liability cases, which sometimes people call slip and falls. The insurance companies call them slip and falls because that way they get to blame you for having slipped into something and having fallen. I don't call them that. I call them premises liability cases because from the perspective of somebody who's trying to help somebody who sustained injury in such a happening, I want to say that it was negligent of somebody. That's the only kind of claim that one would bring. You have to prove negligence associated with injuring yourself on somebody's premises. Now, there is a perception that some folks have that if I walk into a grocery store and I fall and hurt myself, that their insurance company will take care of you. They won't. If your fall is not as a consequence of the store's negligence, they will say, we didn't do anything to cause your event or your injuries, and therefore we're not responsible for taking care of this. These cases can be difficult too, because you have to prove in a grocery store, for example, that the grocery store knew or should have known of the hazard which gave rise to you injuring yourself. So to make this plainer, if you're in a grocery store and see on aisle 4 that a jar of olive oil has fallen to the ground, a bottle of olive oil has fallen and there's a big puddle of olive oil, and you go report that to somebody, and then for whatever reason, 45 minutes or an hour later, you're still in the store shopping and somebody ends up injuring themselves in that puddle of olive oil, which nobody's done anything about since you reported it 45 minutes or an hour ago. That's a very winnable claim. You can prove that the store was on notice of the condition which caused your injuries. Most grocery stores have sweep policies, and they have little clipboards and checkboards and show that every 30 minutes somebody did every aisle in the store and no initial off on that. So grocery store may make the argument, we followed our sweeps policy. For all we know, for all you know, that olive oil had been on the ground for a minute or 90 seconds, and it was impossible for us to know about it or do anything about it because we didn't know about it. That's what makes premises liability cases difficult. What's also difficult about a premises liability case is that juries have a tendency in premises liability cases to blame the victim. You fell in it. You should have seen it. And that compounds the difficulty in trying to prove such a case. It's very hard where you actually have a witness who saw it, knew about it, gave notice of it, and the grocery had long enough time to do something about it.